to TalkFCB and welcome here to El Clasico. It's Real Madrid against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey semi-final with the score very finely poised at 1-1 on aggregate, with Real Madrid having that all-important away goal. We need to strike back. We need to do it now. It's Ernesto Valverde's 100th game in charge of Barcelona coming into this one, and this will be Lionel Messi's 40th El Clasico match, of which, of course, he is the all-time top goal scorer in Clásicos. But due to injuries, Messi hasn't scored against Real Madrid since back in May of last year, and I think we'll all agree that in the next week, the next two Clásicos to come, that is all going to change, and we're better for him to do that than his favourite hunting ground of all. Welcome to the Santiago Bernabéu. Kickoff will be coming to us in Madrid at 9 p.m. local time, and like I say, guys, you do not want to miss this one. The first of two Clasico matches, one on Wednesday, one on Saturday. This is the Copa del Rey. This is the route to the final. We have to get past Real, and to do that, we simply have to score. Real have that away goal. We will need to score to go through. Only a score of 1-1 will take this game to extra time. That would add even more drama on what will be an action-packed week. And as always, guys, you have been predicting your outcomes coming into this one, and I did leave it pretty simple for you. Will we going to win this game and win it well, or will we going to fall at the hands of Real Madrid? And clearly, 10,000 of you getting involved in the voting. Thank you very much for that, and you are all confident. I will back you there. We can do this. Elsewhere, in the other semi-final, which will be coming up on Thursday night, Valencia will be taking on Betis at Mestalla. 2-2 that one is after the first leg. Betis were leading 2-0, but Valencia coming back into it from 2-0 down. That is very finely poised also, and we'll be hoping, of course, to be meeting one of those two teams in the Copa final. And if I just take you back to that first leg, 1-1, like I say, on aggregate. Messi, of course, starting that game from the bench. He was suffering with an injury problem. Dembele was altogether ruled out for that one. Lucas Vázquez opened the scoring for Real Madrid very, very early on, within 6 minutes of that game. But Malcolm, a surprise starter on the night, equalising, very deservedly so, just before the hour mark, and we were unable to get the winning goal on the night. And Real, of course, getting that all-important away goal. We have to score. We absolutely have to. And in attendance tomorrow night at the Santiago Bernabéu will be none other than Barcelona legend and ex-Real Madrid player, Luis Enrique. He's going to be an honorary guest there at the Bernabéu. The Spanish coach will be in attendance for both Copa del Rey semi-finals. And of course, the last time that he oversaw a Barcelona game from the stands, we crushed Sevilla in the same competition by 6-1, with Sergio Roberto scoring yet another memorable goal in an emphatic comeback. And if we just take a look at the form of both teams since that first leg encounter, first of all, the home side, Real Madrid. Since El Clasico, they've secured 3 wins against Atletico Madrid, Ajax and Levante on the weekend. They've also suffered 1 loss in that time at home to Girona. On the face of it, that looks pretty decent. They've been in pretty decent form. They've been winning matches again. That's the important thing for Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid, that was a brilliant performance in the Madrid derby. But other than that, for me, they have been a little bit shaky. You look at that Ajax game, you look at the performance as a whole, and it could have been a very, very different game. Obviously, VAR stepping in and really changing the course of the game in that one. Ajax had large spells of dominance, as of course could that Levante game have been very different indeed. There was an absolutely shocking decision with the score poised at 1-0, a very bad penalty decision. Casemiro going down in the box, won an Oscar, I believe, for that kind of dive. It was given as a penalty. VAR didn't even step in. I don't really understand that, but clearly there, Real Madrid getting out of jail in what was a very mediocre performance. And there has been a bit of drama as well following that game. Gareth Bale scoring that penalty, and in the celebration brushing off Lucas Vázquez, didn't want to celebrate with his teammates, and things right now between him, the rest of the Real Madrid squad and Solari, very, very frosty indeed. It's going to be interesting to see whether Gareth Bale features in either one of these Clásicos over the coming week. And so when you do look a bit deeper at that Real Madrid side and their recent form, there's still a feeling for me certainly that you can get at them if you play at your best, if you really raise your level, if you go about this game in the right way. You can hurt this Real Madrid team, no doubt about it. But that's the big question here. Can we well and truly turn up? Can we raise our level here at the Bernabéu? Because much like Real Madrid, you look at our recent form since that first leg, and it hasn't been convincing whatsoever. We have been unbeaten in our 4 games after that. 2 wins against Valladolid and Sevilla at the weekend, 2 draws against Athletic Club and Lyon in the Champions League. But again, we haven't exactly set the world alight. We're not exactly on crushing form right now. But that win against Sevilla and Messi's hat-trick, of course, That should give us some really good confidence coming into this one. And what will also give us confidence, no doubt about it, is our record at the Bernabéu. It's not just Messi who has huge success here. Barcelona as a whole really have been dominating at Real Madrid's home stadium now for many, many years. And if you look right back there to the last 15 visits to the Bernabéu in any competition, 8 wins for Barcelona, more than half there going to our side, only 4 losses and 3 draws at the Bernabéu. And if you look at our last 6 visits, we've won 4 of those last 6. We love coming here, we thrive on playing here. Real Madrid, I feel, in front of their own fans, do feel that pressure. They feel the onus is on them to go and attack, and that certainly leaves them vulnerable. We can exploit those weaknesses if we raise our level. And of course, going into tomorrow's game, Ernesto Valverde is going to be hoping to select the strongest possible squad that he can. 2 players that he will not be able to call upon, though, are Jasper Cillessen and Arthur Melo. Neither of those players completed the full session before tomorrow's game, but they are in line to potentially return on Saturday in the League Clasico. So you have to wait and see on those 2. But other than that, it's business as usual. Umtiti's available. Everybody is ready for this one. Everybody is firing. But let's now look at the lineup and the potential team news ahead of this one. Now, AS this morning originally came out with this article on the cover. It says plan for Vinicius. Basically, that Barcelona and Ernesto Valverde have a plan for Vinicius, and that is Semedo and Roberto. Now, originally that's the Madrid media, so I didn't think too much into that, but Alfredo Martinez, a very reliable journalist when it comes to Barcelona, has said that this team here is the lineup we're going to see tomorrow. And I can confirm that it does indeed include Sergio Roberto here on the right-hand side and Nelson Semedo as the right back. Exactly the same sort of situation that we saw against Lyon in the Champions League. And that is all to combat the threat of Vinicius down that left-hand side for Real Madrid. Now, my thoughts on this are quite complex, really, because obviously I'm very against Roberto and Semedo simply because it's negative. We are once again planning for the opposition. On one hand, I can understand trying to stop the threat of Vinicius. He's very, very good down that left-hand side. He's got incredible pace. He can get in behind. He can hurt you. The first goal, of course, at the Camp Nou, Vasquez, it came down the left-hand side originally from Vinicius. I could understand why you'd want to stop him. But I would not be behind this unless Ernesto Valverde has said, right, this is the plan when we're defending, to get back in here, nice and compact, stop the threat down this left-hand side. But we also must have a plan going the other way. We must also continue that threat that we saw against Real down that right-hand side in the first leg. This time it was Malcolm, now it's Roberto. We have to have a plan going forward. And the only thing about that is, you think about Sergio Roberto, usually on the right-hand side, I am not a fan. But against Real Madrid, he has been known to come alive in these kind of games. If Roberto and Valverde have a plan going forward, how to exploit Real, how to drag them out wide, exactly what we discussed yesterday, if Roberto is that man, then I'm okay with this. But only if we have an attacking plan as well as a defensive one. We can't just cater for Real Madrid and let them come on to us and play defensive and really be compact and just sit in there and wait and wait and wait for the inevitable to happen. You've got to have the ability to be on the front foot. We have to have the ability to go down the other end and create things all on our own. Now, it does look like 4-4-2 on the face of it here with Roberto on the right-hand side, but of course, Ousmane Dembele, he's not really going to be doing a lot of work here, tuck it in. Vasquez isn't the most offensive winger ever, so he's going to have a little license here to go down that left-hand side, and it will at times become a front three with Roberto then floating across and playing almost a free role in that midfield. I would probably rather see Roberto here than a midfield of Vidal, Rakitic and Busquets. At least with Roberto, there's a bit of dynamism. You've got somebody here who can break through, who can make runs and can be offensive. But like I say, guys, Valverde has to have an offensive plan. We cannot fall into the trap here of really worrying everything about Real Madrid and suddenly forgetting about our own game. Yes, Real are a threat. They've got very good players. We'll respect that. We'll deal with that. But at the same time, we have a job to do. We've got offensive players. We have somebody like Messi who can change the game in an instant. Go and use those attacking players. Don't just focus on the defending. Have an offensive plan. Go to Real Madrid. Be brave. Play on the front foot. Really exploit them in those wider areas. And with Dembele here and Roberto here, we can do that. At least when Messi comes inside now, we may actually have somebody here going down the right, holding the width, somebody who will be disciplined. But Roberto has to do more than what he did against Lyon. Against Lyon, it was too timid. It was too on the back foot. We've got to be offensive here. We've got to be proactive. And we have to hurt Real. To go through, we must score. And to do that, We have to play on the front foot. And with that in mind, guys, my score prediction here for this Clasico match at the Bernabeu is going to be Barcelona 3, Real Madrid 1. I'm going into this game positive. It might be stupid, it might not be, but I'm going to go 3-1 here. Messi is in form again, is confident, he is ready to take on the Bernabeu. Are you ready to witness it? You betcha! Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Enjoy the hype. Enjoy all the pre-match talk. Soak it all up, because we are coming, and we can do this. I'll see you tomorrow, but until then, as always, Visca El Barça.